Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's show. Where are they now? So, those who follow us know that this show is all about celebrating the lives of legendary South African artists and music people. Some are local, some are international, who have contributed to the beautiful mosaic that has built the backbone of South Africa's music history. Here they share their journeys, their amazing experiences with us. We are very lucky to witness these lives so well lived. Tonight's guest is a woman that I have actually admired, watched, and been amazed by constantly way back since the late 70s. She has crossed so many borders in this industry, featuring her many talents, and continues to live her legacy here. Today, she's still doing what she does. Please welcome the unstoppable heart and soul of Mynie Grové. Hi, Manny.
Hello, my Cindy and everybody. Thanks so much for inviting
Woo!
me and in this very special place.
It's a very special place because this is the place that you get to just speak your truth, tell your story, and people are watching, and all they want to know is what was going on in those days, what's going on now, and that's what I love about that. I just want to touch just quickly before I even start my first question. Your list of accomplishments before we even begin, okay? An acclaimed veteran singer, songwriter, composer, TV personality, publisher, producer, music businesswoman, activist, business developer, mentor, and music life coach. Whoa.
Well, I've lived a long time. I got bored.
That's what I want to hear about. The boredom, darling.
Yeah, we have to change track.
There's a lot of stuff squashed into a few years, a lot of stuff done, and I believe a lot of stuff still to come. What was your calling as a child? Where did it all start?
Well, I was born a lot Lamiki on one farm in the Boland with an older mother and father. And I got given a piano at the age of 3. I think it was my Oma Kitty's. And this thing fascinated me, and my dad played around, and I just loved it because it spoke back to me. It had a lovely wooden engraving that looked like a camera. What did I know of a camera at that age? But I thought it was a camera taking movies. So yeah, and living in a house where with people who loved culture and music and books and movies and art and everything in the kitchen sink. I was very lucky, and that I then went to the movies, and I thought, this is it. I want to be in the movies. But I went to be in the music. That's how it ended.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's such a cultural, diverse family. I mean, you've got to go somewhere. If you say that they were open to everything.
Yes.
So one of the arts was going to call you.
Yeah, I was very lucky to grow up with a mom who on the farm took me to music and ballet on a Tuesday and a Friday, and I think I was the only girl in the entire farming community who did that.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
sure.
So that was fun. Yeah.
Interesting. But I think a very sort of organic upbringing,
Yes, but also incredibly structured.
Yeah.
I at the age of 13 in our household, there's no debate. You go to boarding school,
and really?
Yes, you go to boarding school to learn to be a lady. Never really much rubbed off, I have to say.
Isn't that the funniest thing? They send you to finishing school.
Yes.
I mean, for God's sake. The first thing we do is rebel.
Another way.
Exactly.
No,
so
I have to say,
yes?
Yeah, Bloemhof High School in Stellenbosch, next to Renish.
Okay.
We were brought up to be lovely little ladies, and I'm very grateful for that because it brought a completely other outlook for me.
Yes.
and where I could live out my music and my art and everything, and reading and writing and all the things that are creative. And then I finished off at Grooteskie High School in Cape Town, because I've just felt I couldn't stay at boarding school any longer, and it was a good thing. So a little bit of a change at the age of 16, but also a welcome one, can I say?
I'm sure. And okay, so 16 already, you were already in the music thing because it was calling you. You were doing your art and your ballet, I mean, your music lessons and all that stuff.
Yes.
When did you physically start playing in a band or on stage or anything? When did that really start happening?
It's a crazy thing, Cindy. I have a magical story to tell, and that
That's what we want.
I of course, every night comes 5 o'clock, everything stops. I go to the piano and I have to play. That was my DNA calling. I couldn't do it any differently. But then after school, going through graphic design and then onto psychology and music, I was friends with Marla Scott Wilson, the Pink Lady. We were friends from the age of 13.
Yes.
She was in Rere, I was in Bloemhof. We went to Sunday school and cut Kasasi class together. And yeah, so she said, there's two boys. There were two boys called Tony and Jan. And I went, oh, because I know they made music that I loved. It's the first time I heard Afrikaans music that I dug. That was cool. And we had an audition. And the night that I auditioned for Tony and Jan with Marlo, there was a German TV producer, Klaus Netzler, and his friend Frank Foster, and they were touring through Africa, making a TV documentary on African music. Pink, green, blue striped, right from the north of Africa in a combi, straight down. Joburg said to them, go to Cape Town, there's Tony and Jan, and they stayed with Tony and Jan in their house at 35 Bellevue Street, 35 Bellevue Street, in Tambourstraat. No.
No, I know that. We've got one in Bellevue Street, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so I then played a song that I wrote at 18 or 19 on the piano, my own composition, and I sang it to the guys. And Klaus, who became Claude Larson of the Claude Larson Singers, he said, yo, you need to go on the TV. So I literally, the next day, went into 25 Wales Street, Cape Town. It was the Manny Studios then.
Oh my goodness!
And for the first time in my life, sat in front of this beautiful grand piano with a microphone, and I had to play and sing my song, which I did. They recorded it. The next day, a Rosewood Baby Grand from Hoya in Stellenbosch up on Signal Hill. Me in there's a photograph in the photographs I sent you of me in a little red Mini at this piano, table mounted in front of me, table bay behind me. And they filmed me playing the song and singing. And that was my entry into the music industry. Onto German television. It is.
Whoa.
It is.
Julian, would you look for that photo? We do have that photo there.
It says where it all started.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
And then, of course, Claude Larson came back at the end of 1971. He came back to Cape Town. And he started the Claude Larson Singers with me, and by that time, yeah.
It was a choir. Huge.
Yeah, it was a choir that.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, little bunny, wide-eyed bunny on a mountain.
That's beautiful. What a lovely memory.
Yeah.
Hey, and to start so kind of getting thrown into it like you did, but you were so up for it. You just dealt. You just did it.
Yeah, I think I just, those are the days where you don't overthink things. Things happen. You feel great. It feels right. You are with people that make you feel geborgen is the Afrikaans word. You don't feel threatened.
Yes.
It's such an exciting thing, and you literally stand there and let it wash over you. And how blessed I was for that to have happened, because that was literally 11 months later, Klaus was in Cape Town. He started the Claude Larson Singers. Claude Larson is his other name. If any of electronic music fans are listening, he's the guy that you follow all over the world. He makes the most exquisite electronic music. He's not any longer with us, but he's the man who taught me everything I know about the music business.
Wow.
Everything. Yeah.
And to have a mentor like that, hey?
Blessed.
What a story.
Yeah.
I want to just have a look here because we've got people saying hello to us, and I want to tell you who's here. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Here we go. Jacques Durant, waiting in
Hello,
anticipation.
Hello, Jackie.
Can you see they put it up the minute that they click on it, you can read what they're saying. Michelle Maxwell, waiting in the wings, darling.
She started Claude Larson Singers with us.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah. Michelle, dear friend of my friend Lynn as well.
Oh,
David Crawthorne.
Hello, David.
Brian Gibson.
My Brian, he was also in the Claude Larson Singers.
You see, my dear friend Artie Moore. Artie is an amazing woman. She's an entrepreneur. She does public speaking. She's a motivational talker. She's an amazing woman.
Hello, Artie.
Tony Gaza. We know Tony.
We Twitter buddies.
Of course we are. And Anthony at Just Leisure. Now, I always go Just Leisure, but it's just World Leisure. Yeah. Anthony works with Robin Auld. He runs the publishing company, and Anthony lives in Mallorca. So he comes on every single week. It's awesome. And then, of course, Marion from Hanover, Germany, doesn't miss a show. And she always likes to see my cup.
Marion, wie geht's?
Wie geht's? Good. And she always wants to see my cup. Tonight it is the, can you see? It's the giraffe cup. Yeah. She likes my cup. Then we have David saying hi again. Oh, Mark Vass. Hello, my groovy girls. Mark. Don't we love Mark?
I call him Marcus Aurelius. He is my superhero. He is
Marcus. He is our superhero. See, everybody's super. Have you seen his muscles? They're very big.
Yes.
Leonard Arendt. Hello, Mom.
Yeah, hello, Leonard. The man of the diamonds.
Is that what he does?
Yes,
and
he's a lady's best friend.
Lady of Diamonds are a lady's best friend. Jeff Owen, hi Jeff. Thanks for coming
on,
Jeff.
Darling.
Kathy Jacobs, lovely to see the legendary Manny.
Manny.
And David again, sending love from Dunny and David in Overston.
Wow. Thank you. I love you too.
My dear friend Rolf Watterot, also in Germany. Awesome man. Suzanne Brenner. Susie Q. Amanda Schenk.
Yes. Amanda Late, of the best vocal coach in South Africa.
Sure, there she is, hey? Yeah. Jacques Durant again, love you, Mama G from Josie. Ellie Ogliston. Hello, Ellie Ogston.
Hello.
Sanya Petrovic from Serbia.
Yes.
And Jacques again.
Hola, Sanya.
Fairy is watching. Claire Ferry. Trevor Kerr. Oh my God. Steffi also from Hanover, from Germany, my dear friend. Uncle Cal.
Oh, yes, Uncle Cal. That's Calvin Peterson. He's the best DJ in Cape Town.
Oh, my gosh. And then Rita O'Regan, sending love from Dublin.
Another Claude Larson singer who was the Irish Rose who sang in Afrikaans.
Oh, my God.
I love them all.
And they all love you, and they're all here to say hello. So I do ask this question because I know what it was like being a girl musician in a man's world, you know.
Yes.
It was even though I don't think guys were that, what's the word? Forward, maybe, or that crazy in those days.
Where did you mix with? They were gross.
I just mean, yeah, but I think in a much
Gross
more
in a fun way.
in a fun way. Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. Now things are like down and dirty. You got to be really careful. But I mean, next minute you've got your naked picture on Twitter, so you've got to be careful nowadays. Those days there was no such thing as social media and all that stuff. You could keep private. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
kinda,
Okay.
kinda. No, I am grateful that in the time that my career started, um, there was structure. Today there's no structure
Yes,
because of
that's
social
what I mean.
media.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
was
that's what I mean.
structure, and you really had to be a bit of a something to get a recording contract and to actually
Sure,
record.
absolutely.
Not, please let me say, not that that meant that much. It depended on where you were,
Sure,
and who was dealing with your music. I was
sure.
most independent, so I had some unlucky stories, and why I actually in the end left the music industry as a recording artist. I
Okay.
had I just couldn't deal with the fact that my opinion didn't count
Yeah,
as a musician. My
yeah,
artistry, my
yeah,
creativity was questioned.
yeah.
And the only record company that ever allowed me, to be the genuine me, the authentic me, was Moonshine Records with Ian Furr, who is
Oh
now,
my God, Ian! I've had him on the show. He's a
yes,
doll. I mean,
yes, he's
he's
a doll,
just sorbet.
and now he's Mr. Sorbet. Yeah.
Yes, but
So,
not anymore. He's on Mr. New Things.
oh
He's got
lordy,
a company
yeah,
called Hatch. Yeah.
wow. And then and he's fabulous A&R guy, Peter Saronio. Peter Saronio is not with us anymore,
Yes.
but the two of them made me feel validated.
Mm.
Yes,
Because they got it.
yes.
I've got to say this. Annaline Creel from Mauritius is saying hello to
Annie,
us.
hi
Annie,
Annie, I love you.
we both adore you. I met you when I was also running around and I used to look at her in awe. This beautiful, tall, beautiful, gorgeous woman.
Stunning lady. Now
Kirsty
Annie's,
van der Berg, hello,
yes. Hello,
love
Kirsty.
you. And Dee Crawthorne, also lovely to see you.
Wow,
Oh man, everybody just coming to say hello.
thank you.
Um, yes, to be loved by your record company and to be supported and to be given free reign in a way, especially when we talk about being there in the early years
Yeah,
where women weren't listened to. It's, you just be the little singer in the corner and shut up, kind of
yeah.
thing. Um,
I really feel strongly that when we look at clout, there were these beautiful girls who had a manager with a vision. The
mm,
manager was a fan. He was your biggest
mm,
fan.
mm,
And you cannot have a career with people who don't believe in you. You have to
absolutely.
have people who love your music, they love your personality, they love your look, they love what you bring to the party. But
They've got to be a cheerleader.
yes,
I want
but
the cheerleader on the side saying yes, 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 yes.
yeah, but if you as an artist feel that everything about you is believed in, then you give your best. Then you are free to be your absolute utmost best. If you don't
Absolutely.
have that, it is heartbreaking and it's spirit breaking. And that's what I experienced before I got to Moonshine. Yeah.
I think, yeah, we could talk about that kind of
Yeah.
thing being
Oh,
your spirit broken. Yes, carry
yeah.
on.
I just want to correct. There was Claude Larson singers, then there was a period with somebody else, no names, no petrol, where the initial introduction was good, but it didn't go where I wanted it to go. There were other artists on the roster that were bigger names, and I was just starting out. But there was no differentiation between the recording for them and the recording for me. And I wanted to be my music to be represented by the instruments and the instrumentation.
Mm.
And yeah, that didn't happen until Saronia and the fabulous Joe Arthur,
Joe
who at
Arthur, wow.
who
Yeah.
at 22, he was
Yes.
22 years old when
Yes.
he produced and arranged It's Anders, which was just a watershed of an Afrikaans album in those days. Yeah,
Sure.
and that was with Moonshine.
Um, I want to see the video for Caravan because that's a song that everybody knows
Yes,
is your song.
yeah.
Can we see that, Julian? I'd love to see that. I think it's very valid. That's classic stuff, man.
And
Did
you know,
you wrote that?
no, Mike Batt. It's from the movie
Oh,
Caravan.
that's right. Okay.
And the original artist is the amazing, beautiful, fantastically talented, and beautiful voiced Barbara Dixon. And this song was chosen for a television special called Widescreen. And a whole bunch of us were called in by Ken Kirsten, and we each got a theme to sing. And I got Caravan. And it was funny, after my long after, that was 1985. I can tell you a whole story about that, but I don't want to take up time.
No.
What I wish to say is a lot of people think that it's my song. It's not. It's Barbara
Okay.
Dixon's song. I covered it on TV. It was never recorded by me, although I did a cover much later on, but it ended up in the dirt bin. Because
But
that's
that's
how I
so
roll.
weird because everybody, well, that can happen. But
Yeah.
everybody knows that song is kind of like it's associated with you.
Yeah, for 2 whole years. It was after my late husband Chippy, after he died. There was somebody at SABC Main Control who stuck that thing in as a placeholder for 2 years running. And that's how people got to know me, not
Okay.
because it was played on the radio or
Okay.
that it was on a record, not at all. It was somebody who loved that video so much that they played it all the time on
Sure.
TV. Yeah.
Well, it's a spectacular song.
And beautifully filmed by the fabulously talented Ken Kirsten.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, yeah.
See, that's what these talks are all about. We name drop people all the time. That people say, "Oh my God, I remember that, and I remember him, and I remember her," and that's what this is all about, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah. You had a lot of TV shows and TV specials and stuff. You talk about that a little bit.
yeah. When television started in 1975, when you was not born,
I was born.
Every single artist, it didn't matter how big or how famous you were, you had to do an audition. And there was this funny, warehouse in Epping, and they had an OB set up there, and
Okay.
we had to come in and sing a little songy. And I promise you, for the first time in my life, I saw myself as other people see me. You know, when you sing, your face changes,
Yes.
and I was unaware, and I looked back and I bawled my heart out for weeks because I thought it was gross. I did not understand how to use the camera, but apart from that, you suddenly bombarded with a facial expression that you're not used to. You look in the mirror and you're busy putting on makeup, and you don't look at yourself going, you know. And it was just so shocking to me.
Yeah. Shocking.
And shocking. And then I made the camera my friend.
Okay, yeah.
And that's where the difference came. And also because we have this whole village, as they say, to prepare you. There's makeup, there's hare.
Yes. Yeah.
You get clothed in the most beautiful goodies and
Yeah.
kaki puppies on the arms, and they're everywhere. And you look like a movie star. So I got to be a movie star because of television. For
Wow.
me. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Did you had your own shows?
I presented a
Yes.
series called Play It Again, Ken Kirsten. I had an own special called, is it Rendezvous? I think it's Rendezvous with Mynie Grové, and there were other Afrikaans artists with Merwede van der Merwe of the famous Musiek en Lyriek Beweging.
Okay.
And then after that, I took part in all these specials that Ken did. The Beatles songbook, the Bee Gees songbook, the Elton John songbook. There's a whole bunch of them. There was widescreen. And then he did Portrait Of. And Portrait Of was like an album of covers that they pick. You have no say in it.
Okay.
But what I loved about Ken is he checks who you are. He looks inside your heart and your mind, and he picks songs. Some of the songs I didn't think suited me, like Faster Than the Speed of Night. a Bonnie Tyler song.
Yes.
It was recorded in the original key, which was far too high for me, but how fantastic. I had to get a Code 11 license, that's for Pentechnic and Truck, for 5 minutes on the screen. So he pushed my boundaries, but it was fantastic. And I mean,
I love it.
then I had to wear leather, and a Buddha Macy in leather. Are you crazy?
I love
I
it.
thought, I'm going to look
brilliant.
like a tot. I'm going to look like a tot.
But of course, darling.
Girl. And then I put it on. And do you think I could take it off? I loved it so much.
Changed you forever.
Totally.
I swear it was the same with the Cloud Girls. The minute we started wearing leather, it was like, oh my God, all is forgiven.
Yeah.
We are just
Reborn.
keeping going. Reborn, baby. I think we've got the video, your Afrikaans video, Mang Lamang.
Yes.
I'd love to see that now, because that's like
Okay.
epitomizes the Afrikaans thing, and it was different though.
Yes,
Wasn't
very
your
different.
usual. Yeah,
No.
I love that. Yeah, but we like that. We like it. Different is good.
Yes.
Elkeen loopt zij bij u, zonder omkijk, zonder kaart. Greep liefde, greep een kans, weer voor een volle vaart. Nieuwe ongeluk staan ik stil en kijk goed om jou heen. Die mensen sneeuwen heen en hier, jij bent jouw
I love it. I love it.
That's
I
a
mean-
gospel song.
I know. Isn't that crazy? I love it. I mean, we're getting such great. So Shelley Halroyd, she's a friend of mine. She's like, hi. She loved Caravan.
Okay.
Sanja is like, she's not the only one. She also loves that song. Jock Durant also sending love again. David Cawthorne, waking up at the crack of dawn on the border. I know those ones. Yeah, those were the days, let me tell you.
Yeah.
And Matthew James, Auntie Manny, greetings from Vancouver, Canada.
I know. He's my boykie, my
Oh,
Rhapsody
my little
studio in Cape Town. Yeah. Love.
Oh, man. And Jacques Durant again, Dee Crawthorne, David, Sanya. They just all saying hi. Love the shoes, doll.
The fireman shoes.
With the little red ribbons on them. You know, in those days, we know things were so sort of different. The clubs, the venues, like where were you playing in those days?
I never played in clubs.
Aha. That's why I asked you the question, because
Yeah.
you did different things.
I came to see you playing in clubs with Mike Fuller and Rose Fuller.
Where was I? At Plum Crazy, probably.
Yes. I was a clout groupie. Trust me.
Really?
Yeah.
I never knew.
The only time I ever, the only time I ever played a gig, so to speak, was the month of October at the Constantia Neck restaurant in Cape Town for Henry Barenblatt, lovely Henry Barenblatt and his fantastic band, because their singer went to Israel for a wedding or something, and I had to stand in. And for 1 month, I was a gigging girl, and I loved it. I loved being in a band, and for the rest, it was shows with bands or tours with bands, but but never in a club or at a hotel. Sadly, because I can tell you that if you do gigs, the vocal training you get and the vocal, it's like going to gym. It really is like
it's called gig fit. You
gig
get
fit,
gig
totally,
fit. Yeah,
totally.
We
And
used
my
to
voice
do
changed.
those. Yeah, of course. And you do those 6 nights a week, and then the Saturday afternoons as well.
Yes.
And I tell you, I could sing anything. You just throw it at me. I was doing Jukebox Hero, not even thinking about Jukebox Hero. You know, screaming.
Yes.
I was like, you can't touch me. I could do anything you want. Because I was gig fit. I could sing anything.
Yeah. But you were fit, period.
Yes, I was.
You were voice fit, period.
I was voice fit. Yes, definitely.
Now, the only gigs I did was at in the beginning, right in the beginning.
Yes.
At old age homes for the old tannies and the old women's. That's what I did back.
So your career was mainly based on shows, TV and shows,
studio work.
You were very much in on the session trail.
I was a session animal.
Girls.
Yeah. As they say, a studio dog. I was a studio dog. Yeah.
But I love that. I actually also got a chance to be a studio dog for quite a bit. And I love that. People think, oh, you're a lead singer. Why would you want to do backing vocals? I love it. It trains you.
Yes. I have 5 different personas when it comes to the music industry.
Sure.
But the natural me, the one that really flourishes is the one who's in a studio working on something together with a music director, and we are building a song, we are building a production. That's the fantastic part.
I love that.
And it's another thing to be in a choir. It's another thing to be a solo artist on television or on the stage. It's another thing altogether. And then there's all the background work, like writing songs or writing songs for other people. So you have different personas. But my main persona throughout my life, until I started doing the Top Stars project, was session musician. Yeah. Session singer.
And nothing wrong with that. That is like a pedigree of its own, let me tell you. The session players, all the guys that did the sessions all the years, the A-team, they're called?
Yes.
You all
Yes.
guys were, you were the A team.
Yeah.
You know,
Molly
because
Kelly.
Marley,
Yeah, Molly
you,
Kelly, Avril Stockley, and myself.
yeah, absolutely. You were the girls.
So, yeah, so one of the best session singers in the world is one of my favorite artists, Melissa Manchester.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And she also, she plays on it. You know who also does a lot of sessions? The guy from Mike and the Mechanics, Paul Carrick.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
You
listen, why not?
versatility.
There's nothing
versatile.
wrong with it. I loved when I was in a band and there were like a couple of singers, maybe 2 or 3, and I got to do backup when the other guys were singing. I'd play bongos, I'd shake my groove thing, you know, and I was as happy as anything.
And the best thing is to wait for that moment when you come in with the harmonies. It's a trip. It's lovely.
Joy.
Yes.
It's joy. And when you say it in the production thing, when you're building harmonies and you're building something with production, I love doing harmonies where I'm actually doing sounds as opposed to words and stuff. So like, you know, we do these funny little things. I love stuff like that. It's crazy.
Uncle cheese. All sorts of Uncle cheese.
Darling, I want to just mention I'm a Groove. That is your company.
It's Manny Trading Ads. It's my hiding name. My hiding name.
I'm a Groove Youth Choir.
Yes. Okay. So I started off, obviously in school we did choir, but in the Claude Arts Singers, which is a choir but singing pop music. It was a thing in the early 70s, like the Les Humphrey singers in Germany. We were basically based on them. But yeah, so choir was fantastic. And then Josh Groban came to town, and Attie van Wyk, whom I know and love.
Of course, don't we all?
And Attie said, Manny, you are working with the people in Cape Town. I need a representative choir. Don't bring me a black choir. Don't bring me a brown choir or a white choir. I want a representative choir. And then you speak my language. When you say representative, you speak my language. Yes. So I was lucky enough to know all these fantastic singers, amongst other people, Calvin Peterson, Uncle Cal, who helped me find these people and put them together. So we had an ad hoc choir for Josh Groban, and we sang You Raised Me Up with him when he was in Cape Town. It was beautiful. And then later, Miss Diana Ross came.
Yes.
And I had a few of the same people from the first Josh Groban choir, and then I had new additions for the Diana Ross, and that we did at the Velodrome in Belleville. Josh Groban was at Kirstenbosch. The setting was spectacular, and Attie really looked after us and took care of us so beautifully.
I'm sure.
And then came Michael Bublé.
I know.
And then Attie said later, ons gaan tour. We are going to tour, and I nearly platzed. It was just the most fantastic thing.
Touring a choir, and especially with such great artists, of course, you know,
everything's full.
Top class, but hands full. But but isn't that what we do? We're working. We're working people. We like to work.
But Michael Bublé is an amazing piece of work, if I could say that.
Please do.
So humble, feet on the ground. Every night, if we were warming up, he would burst in and sing with us. He didn't eat separately like a VIP. He ate with us. He was just spectacular, and so was his dad and his whole team. They were just lovely, and it was
fantastic.
And it's such a privilege to have done something like that for people who may not always get the opportunity to do that. You know,
sure.
That's the big thing for me.
Well, that is an opportunity to give people the chance to do something like that, and to work with a true artist that is not out of his worldly depth, that he doesn't believe that he's real, you know what I'm saying?
Feet on the ground,
Feet on the ground. You also, you've just, I think you've covered so many things. That's why I said earlier when I spoke about you, I said you've crossed so many borders in the music industry. In the industry, you know, you've done this, you've done that, I mean, you've been
I'm
all over the place.
I'm not afraid.
You're not
I'm not
afraid.
afraid. Give
I'm
me
not
a
afraid.
challenge. I'm not
I love
afraid.
it.
I step up. If you challenge me in a certain way, I say yes before I think about it. And then I start thinking about it and freak out a million times.
That's what
But
we do.
I get over myself as a good boarding school lady does. Get over yourself and do the damn thing.
Put on your big girl panties, they
There
say.
you go. There you go.
You did beautiful international music festivals where you
Yes.
worked with incredible artists as well.
Yes. Yes.
Mention a few of those, please.
Yeah. I didn't really work with them. You
No,
will
but
see
it was
that my biography
yes.
very moily says that I
You were on
I
the
was
same stage that
I
they were.
saved the spotlight on a stage in performances with.
Of course.
I
But
was
yes,
not the supporting artist, but
we
those
know that. It's
opportunities,
fine.
yeah, those opportunities came because I was voorop genoeg to enter for the International Song Festival of Viña del Mar in Chile twice.
Wow.
I got picked to represent South Africa 2 years in a row. That's unheard of. Where they like the song so much, they want me to come again. And that was spectacular. And then a few years later, 8 years later, 7, 8 years later, I did the same for a festival in Poland. But the difference between Viña del Mar in Chile and Poland is in Viña del Mar, the song is the participant.
The song,
And
yes.
the song is the participant, the song wins or doesn't win. 2 years in a row. And then in Poland, it was a performance festival. So
Okay.
in Chile, solo singer with whatever song was entered. And then in Poland, a band competing against the solo singer, competing against a vocal group or whatever. And that was spectacular. That was really, really lovely.
Well, then, yes, carry on.
In South America, it was Miami Sound Machine with
yes, Gloria Estefan. What a band! What a band!
Earth, Wind and Fire's Team 2.
Oh my
or
God.
B Team.
Yes,
yeah,
B Team.
And Al White's brother Maurice was in that band. Is it Maurice? I forget his name. Al White. And there's Maurice White who was in the A group, and Al White was the guy who was in Chile. Yeah, so lovely. I met Andy Gibb there, who's a sweetheart. Now rest his soul.
Yeah. Alison Moyer.
That's Poland. That's Poland.
Was that Poland? Yeah, she's amazing.
Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark, Alison Moyer.
Erasure.
All those 80s, crazy 80s bands.
Jose Feliciano, love that.
That's South America. Beautiful.
Okay. But I'm just saying these names, these are people that, we know their stuff. We know, they've been on the radio, on TV and all that stuff. I mean, it's...
And you pass each other in the belly of the underbelly of the stage at this incredible amphitheater. That's another story. But so you rub shoulders as if you would be in the same show. So it's the same night, but in different sections of the show. So just so that people don't think I'm putting tickets on myself.
No, but I think you wouldn't. I mean, we had the same thing. We would go and do all these TV shows where I'd play, Clout would play, and then on the second stage was Supertramp. And then on that stage was Van Halen, and then there was
different category.
Category. I like that. Can we look at some photos quickly? You've got some fantastic stuff that I just want to talk about a little bit.
Yes.
Just some photos, and then there's another video that I really want to hear. Who's that? What's that?
That was very special for me. I went to do a motivational talk at my old matric high school called Grooteskier in New Orleans in Cape Town. Okay. And that was somewhere in the 80s. And the matric boys were so lovely. And then the newspaper decided to take a picture of me with the matric boys, and I'm 100 years older than them.
100, I'm deep. Yeah. And that is?
Oh, that's me with the Top Stars project. One of
Okay.
the first times that people came to Cape Town for grand finale, and I was busy teaching them about this is your office. You have to look after your office. So
Yes.
no smoking, no drinking, no going out on the beach and late night parties. You've got to take care of your office because you're going to
Okay.
compete the next day. Yeah,
Right. Okay. Woo!
that's Poland. That's me in full flight in Poland,
Beautiful.
singing Love Thief. Yeah.
Jeez.
That is at the Johannesburg University, then Rand Afrikaans University. I did a
Yeah.
lot of, I did a beautiful tour of all the universities in South Africa, and that was one of the performances at Rand Afrikaanse Universiteit, now Joburg
Beautiful.
University. Yeah. Where's that? Oh, that's interesting. That's very
Okay.
interesting. 1986.
Wow.
Our country was burning, and
Yes.
there were so many things
Yes.
happening. And go back to Bloemhof High. Our gymnastics department had a lady called Dr. Beatrice Veed and her partner in crime in the Department of Physical Education at Stellenbosch University, Miss Edith Katzenellenbogen. They asked me to write a song that will bring it. They were busy doing camps. They were busy integrating schools, and they were bringing different cultures together. And they needed
Yes.
a song different to. We didn't have Nkosi Sikelele yet, and
Sure.
I wrote a new youth anthem called One Nation, and this
Wow.
was just while we were workshopping at sitting with the different kids in Stellenbosch.
That is pretty beautiful. Hey.
That's me and the famous Zoidi.
Karen.
Garenke. That
She's
was,
lovely.
yeah, she's my mini me. I call her my mini me. She probably doesn't think I'm a maxi her, but yeah, that was 2003. We did an Afrikaans, or rather, a performance for for a Rere sponsorship at the Klankere Kunstefees, and it was called All Die Jazz. And that was a
Okay.
picture for Rere of Karen and me with short
Beautiful.
hair. That's so much just a publicity pic with baie hare.
In those days, honey, you know,
Yeah.
we had so much hair.
Yeah.
Congrats.
This was June
Shoot.
Sawyer, makeup and hare, dressed by Yoko Glauser. That was backstage at Garbo's club, dinner club in Cape Town
Wow.
in Harrington Street. It's now the Harrington beautiful new apartment block. But this is me backstage getting ready for the second half of my show. And it was the first time I did cabaret, so to speak. So I had
Okay.
an hour of fabulous songs, and then the second half was more dramatic, etc. This is Chile, 1983,
Okay. Wow.
on the stage.
Sure.
That is my youngest son, Clem van der Merwe, and in a
What?
band called Alinea. And I put that in because I wanted to do a shout out to Alinea and his other band, or the other band that he works with and plays with, Black Moscow. But that's my baby doing alternative rock. I'm very
Wow.
proud. I'm very proud of him. And
So
he's a
there
great
were,
songwriter.
I'm
Brilliant
sure he is.
songwriter.
So there were children, and there was a marriage, and what else?
A few. That's a path we don't speak about. But I have two
Oh,
beautiful
okay.
boys. Jean, who was the inspiration for a song called Nankipu that people sing to this day for their babies
Somebody
when they fall
mentioned
asleep.
it, yes.
Yeah. And Clem is Chippy's boy, and he's not following in his mama's footsteps. He's got his own shoes and his own size 10 boots, and he's walking his own way in the music industry, amongst
As
other things.
as we should. Oh,
There's
what's that?
There's Michael Bublé right in the back,
Oh
and
my
the
goodness.
choir, and Mama G
Got
in
it.
front.
See
Yeah.
him. How beautiful.
Yeah.
Mama G. Oh.
That is a show called Sisters. That's me, Dr. Marlene Leroux, the CEO of Artscape in Cape Town. Jennifer Jones, and I forget the lady on the right. She's also a fantastic singer. Yeah,
I
the
know,
lovely
Fiona.
Jennifer Jones. Yeah.
Looks like Faith.
That is a friendship that lasted a very short time because he went away. That's Johannes Kerkorrel, and that was taken when we did a show with the music that we wrote with Brayton Breitenbach poems, poetry,
Wow.
and I met him there, and there was a very sweet soul recognition, shall I say?
Yes.
There was
Yes. A
as a
chemistry.
friend, yes,
Yes.
a chemistry, as a friend, as our souls recognized each other. Never really spent time together after that, and then of
But that
course
was
he
it.
went away, and he committed suicide.
Yes.
And yeah, I remember him, and I wanted to put this photograph out there so that I can remember to honor him.
And I think a lot of people have,
Yes,
good memories of him too.
yes.
Wow.
That's the studio clan.
Ev.
There's my pilot, Avila,
Johan.
Stockley. Yes, Johan Last, Marley, and myself. Yeah.
Marley. Oh, those were that was the team. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, one of the variations of the team.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. That is from the Top Stars last grand finale in 2019 at Grand West Arena. The show was called, we always have a theme for the show. The show was called Skybridge. And from the opening sequence where all these zombies and Viking warriors and starlight warriors, that's the opening of the song, and we're on a Viking ship sailing through the sky.
Okay. Beautiful. Yeah. Wow.
That was me. That was me at After Dark in Pretoria, a show called Not the 9 O'Clock News.
Okay. Was that not that show? What was that show that Alan Glass did?
Not the 9 O'Clock News was the name of a program on British TV.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something that I can't remember what it was. When I look at all of this, and anybody that I speak to, even I had Anton Goosen on. He was also talking about things like this, and the fact that South African artists rub shoulders with international artists all the time. And it's not even a thing. It's not a thing. It's not like, oh my God, I'm so in awe. Because we're all just on one level. We're called musicians.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was in awe. I was in awe of clout. I was in awe of anybody who reached that pinnacle that I never experienced. I'm talking from a recording point of view.
Sure.
And every time I'm with people like that, I'm in awe, I'm starstruck, and I am, oh my God. And then I go home, and then I just love that I had that opportunity. Yeah, and you sit and you let it wash over you. It's just wonderful.
It's
your fan speaking. I was your fan.
You see, I've never thought of myself like that at all. So for me, and the show's not about me at all. Of course, I sometimes say, "Hey, I've experienced it." No, it's not. Yeah. This show is about you and what you're saying, and I relate to things. Of course, I'll say, "Hey, I experienced that," or whatever it is. I found a quote from you that it was so delicious and so clear. That I have to say this quote, okay?
Yeah.
And this is about you. I think this is about your vocal harmony ranges and your production when you're doing movie music. Music.
Yes.
So, creating sound vistas is not about filling the moment with sound. It is about creating doorways in the imagination that pulls a visual experience straight into feeling it, sometimes with quietness.
Yes.
You see, that for me is huge because it's the less is more concept.
Yes.
But
I always feel the way I look at music production, Matt James in Vancouver will tell you, I'm hell to sit next to in a studio as the producer. I beat him up. When something is sounding fantastic, I beat him up. I yell in his ears. I clap
'cause
my
you're
hands.
excited. Yeah.
And I think I drove him nuts. So Matty, thank you for living with me. He was one of the last people that I've done big music with. To me, it is textural building, and to have windows that you walk through. So from one moment to a next moment,
Yes.
of course, with a movie, there's a visual that helps with it, but it must also happen in just music that is not for visual consumption, that you put on a recording to put on Spotify or wherever. If you record a song with somebody or an instrumental with somebody, is that the way you arrange and the way you produce a song, that you create an experience. That is the most important thing. This is the art form that you can't touch.
You can't.
Every other art form you can touch.
Yes,
Poetry you can read. You can put your hand on a book. You can read it.
Yes.
Music is the only art form, whether it's a voice or an instrument or silence, that you cannot touch. You can
It's
only
phenomenal,
feel it and hear it.
And I think that's why music crosses so many platforms in a person's panorama of their lives, you see, because I have always been such a music lover. To me, music was my muse. Music called me. To this day, still.
It owns you.
It does own me.
Yes.
I call it my demon lover, because you know how it can hurt you and break you and kick your ass, baby.
It's a terminal disease. It's the terminal disease you can never recover.
Freaking love that. Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
I just want to go quickly through here, because we still got beautiful people saying you've got that beautiful, amazing muso energy. Still keep rocking. My friend Sherry Cousins, who does all my social media, she watches all the time. Hello, Sherry. Laura Artico. Do you know Laura? Awesome drummer. Yeah, she used to be in Richard Loring's shows, that girl talk stuff and all that.
Okay.
So she's been around. She's a great drummer, a lovely woman. She said, what was it like performing an iconic Afrikaans song, Sweef, Soos and Arend, with Karen Zoid, two different backgrounds, explosive on stage?
Yeah. Okay, so that was a bit of an interesting situation. I saw Karen grow up from her first demo recording, and then growing into Miss the Republic of Zoid Africa, the president, and it was awesome. And then she invited me onto the show, and I wanted her to do Mang Lemang, or there's another song called Mama Kom Haal Me, which is more rock orientated and would fit in with her show. She wanted Sweef Soos Arend, and I was actually upset, because I wrote Sweef Soos Arend, but it was never ever in 100 million years my hit. I didn't record it. Everybody else recorded it. And the interesting part about that was
crazy.
She insisted, and there was no ways I could get away from it. And chatting with Karen and discovering this new person. So remember, from the demo recording and then to us doing All That Jazz, to this Missy, who is now, she's cleverer than clever. She is brilliant. She is a mind that you can't contain. Karen Zoid, you can't.
Yeah.
She is busy blossoming and just growing into one awesome businesswoman, besides the beautiful music and whatever else she does. So singing Sweef Soos Arend with her was a major privilege for me. But I was miserable because I wanted to sing rock with her. And Sweef wasn't my hit. It was everybody else's hit. I never recorded it as an artist. I made a very quick Afrikaans album with that song on it, and that ended in the dirt bin, because it was No, that's another recording industry sad tale. I threw my own big
Song.
money production straight into the dirt bin because the record company was expecting me to do the marketing when they were getting 80% of the proceeds. So I said, thank you very much. Give me back my masters. Bye-bye. And
Yeah.
into the dirt bin it went. Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
it's
never.
a funny thing that we do these kind of things. I look at, excuse me, how many artists have sent things to the dirt bin. Can you imagine someone like David Bowie? The stuff
But they
that he
get-
would have sent to the dirt bin. Can you imagine the stuff?
But they get found. They get found. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at everybody.
And your track also got found and got done again. So,
Yeah, but
I
the
love
thing is,
it.
yeah, for me it was just so wrong. I can't be on Soid and sing this crocheted song. I mean, it's a beautiful song. I don't minimize it. It's been fantastic because everybody. It was written in 1984, and it has never stopped living. So it's one of the songs that I wrote that has had a fantastic life. But it was never my hit. I wrote it, but it was never my hit.
But it was reincarnated constantly by
Yeah.
different artists. And therefore, you know what it is also about a songwriter. Sometimes we write a song, we're a bit too precious with it, you know. It's like, it's my song. In the meantime, it's like, shut up. No, nothing belongs to anybody, okay?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that was her show. She had the final say. You shall sing
Exactly.
this, Mr. Aaron.
That's it.
Yeah. And Claude Larson was the guy who said, when you write a song,
Yes.
when you record it, you have
Yes.
to say. When
Yes.
you give that child the freedom to walk out the door and be recorded by everybody in the kitchen sink, you should.
Just shut up.
Just shut up and let them do what they want.
And let it fly, baby. And you've got to do that.
Lesson learned.
Manny, have you found peace in your life when you're sitting here in front of me now?
I'm always finding peace. I have peace and I want more.
Yeah.
My life has gone crazy ways because I've made some shitty choices. Talking people.
Yeah, of course.
And it took me a long time to learn to accept that I made mistakes. Nobody chooses somebody knowing that they're a rubbish. People start taking off their masks, and you discover that what you thought is not actually reality, and then you need to extricate yourself.
Sure.
And that extrication goes along with a lot of self-flagellation that we spoke about before we came on. I'm not even Catholic, but I did this and I bled.
Give me the whip, baby. Give me the whip.
For years.
Yeah.
And I am now luckily a lady of a mature, and I'm a sage now. I'm a sage. I'm a sage.
Stage.
Yeah, I'm a sage. I'm a crone.
I love that.
Yeah, I really believe that peace is so easily attainable.
Yes.
But it's as you pick stuff
fleeting.
to have joy with.
Yes.
Yeah, it's all about choice. What do you choose?
Yeah.
I don't fly off the handle, sommer famous, because it has no purpose. Your energy, protecting your energy, your all of your heart, your muscles, we have so many brains. We have a brain, and we have a heart brain, and we have a lung brain, and we have a liver brain, and we have a gut brain. There are so many things that we have to take care of, and it's so important for us and for our health. And for me to be able to sustain myself and to do all the things that are still waiting for me to do, what went before was then.
Sure.
Then came lockdown that cut my head off.
Story.
And I'm not the only one. There's many other people. So now I'm waiting for that third stage of my life where I go into another sphere and in another form, and I think differently and I do differently, and I cannot wait. but it comes with finding inner peace and finding a place where you can literally sit still with yourself
Yeah.
and not say a word.
I think that we have many encores. Do you know what I'm saying? There
Yeah.
are many encores. I am having one right now, and I know there's another one coming. I know I'm still going to make mistakes. As clever as
Yeah.
I think I am, I'm going to still
Yes.
make mistakes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter so much anymore, because I think the main thing that has happened in older age, we don't take ourselves so seriously.
I sadly do.
You do. Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Control freak, ADD,
Yes, yes, yes.
OCD. I don't want to do that anymore. And all those things. I don't want to make mistakes. The
Uh-huh.
difference being that now, when I make a mistake, I don't build a monument on it.
Yeah.
I talk myself out of it
Yes.
by being positive and saying, all right, and then I've learned that. The thing that I learned the most, and that came from yoga.
Yes.
Um, I believe in an interfaith faith life.
Yes.
Um, and although I was brought into the Christian world, and Jesus is my savior, but I also encompass all other religions. Sorry, my thing is singing. I encompass all other religions, and uh, at some point I did a little bit of yoga because I
Yes.
thought I would lose weight through it, and something magical happened. I became calm.
Yeah.
I became unfrantic. I
Mm.
became, my anxiety was handleable.
Lifted.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't go like the balloon that you let go and go, and there it off it goes. I'm not like that anymore. I can now sit back and I can count to 10, I think is the right thing to say.
Yes.
Um, and that's what yoga brought.
Mm.
Yoga is this ancient
Yeah.
system, and everybody knows yoga. It's fashionable. Blah, blah, blah. That's not the point of it. The
No,
point
definitely
of
not.
the point of yoga is it helps you to still your mind, to still your body, to calm down your all your organs in your body through the positions that you do. And I haven't done yoga in 100 years, but the effect of it still lasts. It's
Sure.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm also a disciple, so
Yeah.
I'm definitely a yogal. Um, as, as
Yoga, I love that.
I'm a yogal.
Yeah,
That,
I love.
it's just
Yeah.
what we do.
Yeah.
There's an initiative that was spoken of, empowering expectation.
Yeah. That
That was the
started.
Top Stars. Tell us a little bit about the Top Stars. That was very interesting.
Yeah. Top Stars came about. I started going into events and working with different companies and taking their staff into my world.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was basically corporates that I worked for that needed something, and I went that route. And then along came um, CakeNet Idols, and
Okay.
I was a judge on CakeNet Idols, and out of
Okay.
that I got invited because of that to do a judging thing for a project that ShopRite started. It was a choir project at that stage. I did the first year, didn't like it much. The process, the actual logistics of it was fantastic. The next year, I was a consultant to the agency who did it, and at the end of that year, I was asked to take over this project. It got renamed. It was first Top of the Pops, and I hated it because it's the old 60s name of the TV show in Britain. It was so odious. And then I went on to call it Top Stars, um, which was clever or not clever, I don't know. It just became Top Stars. And that was the program where um, I don't do what Idols does, and that is to mold people to go into the music industry.
Sure.
How do you take 150,000 workers for a big ShopRite group of companies all across Africa. You can't
Yes.
take those people away from their work that they hold onto by
No.
a little string. And so what it was about is using music as a tool for self-empowerment. That
Yes.
if you can, and how did we get to them is we would identify them if they had some kind of a singing voice. And
Yes.
then we take them into a situation where we literally challenge them in a short amount of time to get the biggest result. That's always what I say. My motto is, I'm not very geduldig, so I like to do. I want the
Quick.
biggest result in the shortest amount of time. Yeah,
But that's
and
okay.
yeah, but I had to do this because in the working environment of a supermarket or retail company, people are working and you can't take them away from the work so much. So you have to do things in a very quick and a very organized way.
Yes.
So this thing developed and it was really fantastic. And the whole thing was empowerment, about here is, one lovely example is a little girl who is a cashier at Checkers in Beaufort West.
Yes.
And I got her to sing a big, powerful song. But I visualize, you see, I don't now also visualize the production and the everything like that. I also do all the stage production and the production values. And she went up in a lift, like Pink does in all her concerts and music videos and stuff. And I had this little girl who was scared of heights, and we got her to put on the harness. And at this specific time, she went up in the air with star rain at the back, and it was just spectacular. So, do you know that one experience in a high production, not only her, for all of them, from 2006 to the end of 2019 when the project was stopped, you never, not even professional artists get the opportunity to be in a production like that. So there is a memory that nothing and no one can take away from you. And that's the joy. That's the most spectacular thing you can do, is to give somebody. For once in my life, I had hair like Beyonce. I looked like Pink. I went up in a harness. There were stars raining behind me. It was just beautiful. Nobody can take that away from her. Abigail Madumbo, hi.
I love that. Empowering other people. You see, everybody's just saying, oh, man. My favorite Manny song is Everybody's Got to Play a Part, and we were going to play that. But I still want us to go out with
African Party.
Yeah, I think that's what we should go out with. I don't want to say goodbye yet because I'm having so much fun, but we are sort of at the closing time.
Right.
We've got the
just
most
quickly,
beautiful... Yes, please.
No, just quickly want to talk about African Party. African Party is a music video that we did in 2014 when I had all the best singers from all the years up until then. We made a CD, and this song I picked for a music video. So every single person you see in that music video is a ShopRite, a shelf packer, employee, a shelf packer, a cashier, a goods receiver, pay clock. Yeah. So that's what African Party is about when we get to it. It's just lovely.
I'm very glad you told us about that. I think it's awesome to empower people. Whatever we do in our lives, if we can give back, the pay it forward thing, I think it's very important. I think you've been very empowered by that. I think you have
very muchly.
You
I got
that.
Empowered. Yeah.
And if I had to say to you right now, you've given birth to many things. You have. You've empowered. You've got your
I'm a groove.
I'm a groove. I'm glad you told me. I was going to say I'm a something.
I'm a car.
I'm a car. I'm a drum set. My drum kit.
I'm a
scene doing. Pet.
Yes.
Whatever it is, I think that whatever you've done, you've always thrown yourself into it with heart and soul. And that's why I said also in the beginning that the unstoppable heart and soul of Mynie Grové, because you have so much swirling around in there that still is going to come out. This is not the end of anything. This is continually beginning things. So,
Sorry.
no, carry on, please.
No, when Caravan was playing earlier,
Yes.
I got a little blurry eyes.
Rush. Of course. There's
Because
a
I
rush,
thought,
yeah.
yeah, and one remembers all these magical moments and what made Top Stars and any other group like the Amagrief Youth Choir that I worked with, where you give the experience that you've had, the
Yes.
magic of being part of this world that you've dreamt about, that you've seen other people do, where you give that magic to somebody who might go forward and have a magnificent career, but a lot of people don't.
No.
And that one moment where you give somebody an opportunity to shine like nobody.
You can't touch it. You can't touch it.
There's no money that can pay you for that. There is no money. That is my empowerment. That makes me feel like $1 million. And to see they walk out and they're in front of 6,000 people watching at Grand West Arena, big eyes, and then they go off and they cry and they almost hyperventilate because of what they've gone through. Not everybody has that reaction, but imagine that you have this beautiful thing that you've just gone through, and then you go home to Amalinda.
I know. To Amaskota camp,
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Nigeria, Ghana, Madagascar,
So
Zambia.
life is your own experience of everything that you do.
Yeah.
We are all handed something at the beginning when we pop out of our mummy's belly, you know. And this, to me, when people are on the watching this and they are inspired by something that has been said, just to hear about your story, to hear about what you've done and where you're at right now, I think that is the message of this show. Is not just, hey, where are they now, man? Like, what are they doing? I think it's how did they get here now, man? You know, what journey have they come through? And nothing is ever lost because it's all in memory. It's all on a photo. It's on a video somewhere. There is always content of your life somewhere.
Yeah. And I want to say thank you on behalf of all South African artists, Cindy, that this honoring of what has gone before is so important because in America, this is de rigueur. This is what happens. You have a back catalogue of an artist and they are revered and taken care of and looked after. I'm not talking financially. I'm just saying from a validation point of view.
Absolutely.
And what you are doing needs a medal. I put a medal on you to say thank you for doing this because everybody who is now buggered up by lockdown and everybody who's maybe feeling, I don't have a career anymore and they don't see a way forward and they can't get out of their old ways and it's difficult for them to adjust. Everybody needs a program like this, Cindy, and thank you for doing it because we inspire each other, I hope, to not give up. You do not give up because your gift is not dead.
On.
It lives forever.
That's why I said you're out there. There's content about you. I could only thank my producer for allowing me to have the show. He was the one that suggested I do it.
Wow.
And Julian, thank you for that. But I love every single person I talk to because everybody's journey is different. But the most important, and I think that it is imperative for people to remember and to know what went before.
Yes.
It's part of our history. That's
Yes.
what I say as well. It's part of the mosaic of our history,
Yeah.
you know. And
Totally.
thank you for saying yes. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank
I'm
you
so
for the
grateful.
Thank you for the invitation, Cindy, and God bless you and keep you
And
safe.
you, absolutely,
And I
darling.
cannot wait to have tea and a glassy wine and a long chin mag.
We are going to have a good one. And when I get to
Yes.
Cape Town, darling,
Yes.
we're getting
Yes.
together.
For
Thank you to
sure.
all the people that come and watch
Yes.
the show. Thank you,
Yes.
the people that come every week, that come and
Beautiful.
watch.
Thank
Love
you.
it. To the producer of the show, to Julian. Thank you for having the show.
Thank you, Julian.
To everybody out there who loves music, all the music lovers out there, this is for you. We're going to play out with a party, African party. Whoop, whoop.
The sound of top stars, baby. Coming to you live from Cape Town City. Can you hear me sing?
Now wake up, everybody one time. We gotta get in line. We gotta go so far. Give it up for Top Star. When you're feeling down and out, come and hear what Top Star is about. See yourself in a brand new light. Take my hand, compromise with the funky groove. Put you in the mood. We wanna take you to our neighborhood. We can dance all night over morning light. Let the mama groovy music make it alright. African beat, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta move your feet. Come and turn up the treble. Smile on your face, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta rock this place. There's no time for feeling blue. This opportunity is just for you. You can work that blues away. Cool it, baby. Come on, make my day. You can slowly grind, move across the floor. Get your promotion, baby, at the door. You can free your soul. You can free your mind. We guarantee you'll have a real good time. African beat, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta move your feet. Come on, turn up the treble. Smile on your face, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta rock this place. It's an African party, African beat, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta move your feet. Come on, turn up the treble. Smile on your face, baby. You've got to ride upon the rhythm, baby. You gotta rock this place.
It's Top Stars party, run it up. All the honeys in the house and the party don't stop. Run up, everybody keep it real. We know what you need, we know what you feel. Top Stars in the house, make you lose control. Everybody all over the world. Let me see you get on, get up. Gotta keep it low, and we just don't stop.
You can slowly grind, move across the floor. Get your promotion, baby.